Stu and I have recently finished touring Scotland's North Coast 500 in our VW camper van. On our trip, we saw so many places with yellow warning signs saying no overnight parking. Finding a perfect park-up where overnight was not only allowed but positively encouraged was such a great feeling, and sadly it's a rarity in the UK. It seems an almost daily occurrence now that I hear of new signs going up prohibiting motorhomes from parking and staying overnight. There seems to be a deliberate agenda in the UK to force us all into campsites. Today I'm sharing 3 of the best park-ups that we found on the NC500. These are the ones that we almost kept to ourselves. They are quiet, scenic and available to you for either a donation or a modest fee. I can't tell you how good it felt to be actually wanted for a change. The first park-up was at the community-run Seaboard Centre in Ballintor. The car park was level and it was right on the seafront. It's a really lovely spot. There were lots of parking spaces there. Just opposite the car park there was a spotless toilet together with a shower, hairdryer, washing machine and tumble dryer. There was also a fresh water tap with a parking spot next to it so that you could fill up your camper van or motorhome with a hose. The toilet was free to use, but there was a charge for using the other facilities. These were all operated by coin boxes using £1 coins, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you experienced campervanners to always make sure you have change available with you. I think from memory the hairdryer was 20p. There was also a chemical waste disposal at the rear of the Seaboard Centre. Had we known about this park-up before we went there, we would definitely have taken advantage and stayed there instead of at the campsite that we used. There was even a cafe in the Seaboard Centre if you fancied someone else cooking your brekkie for you. The Mermaid of the North statue was only a short walk away up the beach. As I said, there were absolutely plenty of parking spots, so I don't think you would have trouble getting on here if you wanted such a stop. Awesome view and full facilities. There was a donation box there for you to show your appreciation. The second park-up was Libster Harbour, and this was one of my favourite stops of the entire journey. It was so picturesque and quiet. We spent the night there with 3 other camper vans and we all got chatting to each other, as you do. You do have to go down a bit of a hill to get to the harbour though, and there were a couple of potholes, so do watch out for those if you use this park-up. You pass benches as you approach the harbour, which gave a good view of the sea. We thought this was a really nice touch, and if we'd arrived earlier, we certainly would have made use of them. There is the Waterlines Heritage Centre with a cafe there as well at the harbour. However, this was closed at the time that we were there. There's a box for donations on a pole, and this is managed by the Libster Harbour Association. One thing to note about this park-up is that there are no facilities here. Sadly, a local told us the by now familiar tale of previous abuse of this lovely spot. So please be responsible and leave no trace. Despite us being in a VW, we had toilet facilities on board. Libster Harbour was such a picturesque spot, right on the seafront and with its own lighthouse. What more could you want? The parking was level and the harbour wall provided shelter, so it was very quiet and wasn't at all windy. It was lovely. We thoroughly enjoyed our time there. Our final spot's a bit different, and I have saved the best till last. This is the Ben Ige car park at Torridon. I don't know how I've pronounced that, probably wrongly. This is at the base of one of Scotland's most stunning nature reserves. I'll put the Scottish name on the screen so you can find it, as there are 3 Ben Ige car park locations that I know of, so this will identify the correct one for you. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. It was a level car park that was right next to Loch Mari, and a short walk took us to the loch. There was some simply breathtaking scenery. There were even picnic benches on the loch shore, which you could take advantage of if you were staying there. As you can see, Stu has already found the picnic bench. This would be an awesome spot to park up for the night. You could come and eat your dinner at one of the picnic benches and sit down and have this for a view. Isn't that just fantastic? What do you reckon, Stu?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Not only that, there were 2 great looking walks which started from there, and there were leaflets available at the site with the details on for you. There was a £10 charge for an overnight stay. However, it's also a day car park, so depending on what time you get there, an additional charge could have been payable. One thing to note, there are only 3 camper van spaces available here. So if you're planning an overnight stop, maybe plan to get there early and take advantage of the walks. Had we known about this spot in advance, we definitely would have timed it so we could have stayed there overnight. Next time. There were other park-up spots that we saw on our journey around the NC500, but these 3 were far and away the best we saw. And these are the ones that we will definitely be building into our itinerary next time we visit. At the time that we were planning our NC500 trip, the Highland councils were busy considering whether or not to implement a ban on campervan and motorhome park-ups in a number of their locations. So we thought the safest option was just to book campsites for all but one night. As it happened, this ban didn't actually come into force, so our next trip to Scotland will be more park-ups and less campsites. Let us know in the comments, have you stayed at any of these park-ups? What park-ups have you used? Did you enjoy them? We genuinely want to know, as we'll be returning to Scotland next year, I'm sure. We do read and reply to all comments. If this has been useful, please say hi in the comments and consider subscribing to our new channel. You can also check out our other videos on the NC500. Thank you.